I was cold in a dream, somewhere close to the surface between the eyes and the stream. There's 3 inches of air. So I swam towards the light. I let my breath get there first. When I opened my eyes, I saw myself in a mirror. And I knew I would do like my father has done. Yes, we will never break from these chains. Your life's gonna course like a history book. Don't be frightened of turning the page, 'cause it's all the same. It will always be the same.
Make a plan to listen up, folks, because we are back with another episode of Bright Eyes, Full Hearts, Can't Lose, the comprehensive encyclopedic podcast about Conor Oberst's entire discography, track by track, album by album, because the devil's in the details and everything must belong somewhere. Isn't that right, Morgan?
That's right.
I am your host, Little.
I'm your other host, Little.
And we are here today to talk about a really great album. I'm talking about Fevers and Mirrors. The 2000? Was it released in the year 2000?
It was released in May 2000.
The May 2000 release from Bright Eyes.
Yes.
Now, I did want to circle back before we got too far. I did want to talk a little bit about some stuff that came up during our Christmas episode.
Okay.
First of all, I do feel like, well, here we are now. Christmas is over.
Yes.
We had Christmas.
Yeah.
And I do feel like at one point you wanted to talk more broadly about Christmas. And I think I just said something about Mariah Carey, and then we moved on.
Well, I kind of thought that you'd be more into... It kind of seems like Bright Eyes Christmas is your Christmas album, and that's like it.
Yeah, it's one of my few Christmas traditions.
I think I wanted to talk more broadly just about Christmas music in general.
Uh-huh.
But I think that was mostly just because I had been listening to so much of it and recording so much of it for so long that I needed someone else to talk to except for Sarah, because Sarah and I just were talking about it all the time at that point.
That Christmas album was a hit, by the way. Saw a lot of social media buzz about that Mob Revolution Christmas album.
I thought it went well. I was really happy with it. I was a little disappointed because I felt like there was low reception of it initially, but then I kind of thought about it and I was like, I'm going to be able to release this every year.
That's true.
And
Evergreen.
Yeah, and it'll be fine.
Evergreen residues, baby.
It'll be fine.
Okay. 2 corrections I wanted to put out there. First of all, well, this is kind of a correction within a correction. You are right that the Maria Taylor album that's not 1111 is the superior album. But you are wrong. It's called Lynn Teeterflower.
Shit. Oh, really?
So I just wanted to get that one out there.
You know what? That makes me think that I've gotten it wrong since I bought that album the whole time. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, because there is a little bit of a separation where I was listening to those songs a long time ago. I haven't really listened to that album in
Do you think it's the sort of situation where maybe, I don't remember how the title's written, but you know how the KB Toys logo looked like K Toys B?
That is nice of you, but I do remember the that's nice of you to let me think that, but I remember the cover isn't a lot. It's all right there.
All right.
Lynn Teeterflower.
We also talked about
do you think that mine's better or hers is better?
I
don't understand the name.
The track itself is kind of a throwaway track. It's a recording of her singing as a kid.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But Smile and Wave and No Stars and a couple other songs in the album are so good.
Yeah.
So and 1111 has Song Beneath the Song,
and that's it.
Yeah, and that's
what I remember too. Song Beneath the Song though is incredible.
Backing vocals by
Conor Oberst.
Cryptic words meander. Now there is a song beneath the song. The day you'll learn, or soon discern its true meaning.
Now we also talked briefly about Ted Stevens and Mike Mogis' band, but neither one of us could pull the name. It's Lullaby for the Working Class.
Great name for a band, too.
Yes, and I have been listening to some of their recordings. This shit's old, man. This is 95, 96.
Yeah.
And it's great. So wholehearted recommendation for a lullaby for the working class. Tim, maybe add that to your 8-hour playlist, by the way. Shout out to Tim. Now, wait, I got to get the names right because there's a Tim and a Tom.
Yes, there is.
Who are engaging with us a lot right now. Which
Tom,
is,
I can't tell if Tom and I are best friends or enemies.
Well, I noticed that I feel like based on his favorite and retweeting things, he tends to agree with you and like acknowledge me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you get like a favorite and a retweet, I get like just a fave. You know, so I see what's happening.
Nice,
and I'm okay with it. But meanwhile, so Tim is the one who created
the playlist.
An 8-hour playlist of all the different stuff he hadn't heard of before. Some of it was interesting, like. There was a Magnetic Fields album on there that I've never really listened to.
Oh, really?
But I just thought, okay, cool. Like just a random every Magnetic Fields album is basically the same. So
they're all good too. Magnetic Fields are really underrated. I think. But I also feel like they didn't. Well, anyway, that's not a rabbit hole we need to go down.
I feel like I'm now tempted to curate our own Bright Eyes Full Hearts Can't Lose official Spotify playlist.
I actually have had a playlist on my Spotify called Bright Eyes Full Hearts Can't Lose for a while, but it was for myself. Of like work acceptable Bright Eyes playlist.
I see. Okay.
You know, the good jams.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Which we will, when we talk about this, maybe that's one metric for classifying the songs on Fevers and Mirrors, because there's like your sad, overwrought, angry songs, and there's like your good jams. And then there's some that they transform from one into the other.
That's true. I also feel like that's very true about Bright Eyes music in general.
Yeah.
There's kind of like these two pockets.
And if you're playing songs at work, right?
Yeah.
And you have a Bright Eyes playlist,
right.
You don't want like Kathy with a K's song on there.
No, great song.
It is a great song, but definitely not like someone's going to walk in and go, "What the fuck's this?"
Yeah.
Whereas if you're playing, I don't know, a good jam song, Shell Games, they're like, well, this is cool. What's this, man? I like this.
Yeah. I have very like sensitive and in touch kids that work for us, like high school kids, and I'm like, they're gonna fucking love this shit. So I keep putting it on when they're there. I haven't gotten any takers yet, but yeah.
This is my big fear. You know, what if I'm playing Bright Eyes all the time around Arlo and he never asks, "Hey, Dad, who's this?"
Yeah, right. He's like. Sarah was trying to take a selfie with Shoshi and dropped her cell phone. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about that last episode, by the way?
2 other quick corrections.
Yep.
First of all, I wanted to just call out whenever I could think of them specifically, my influences and almost like direct lines of Conor Oberst to me. So I did a December vlog, I forget what it was called. It was a couple of years ago. Paul Neefsey said it was the most alienating thing I've ever done, and I was so flattered. And it was this video where there was a lot of static, and it was kind of created to almost seem like it was jumping between channels. And when I was listening to "Away in a Manger" on the Bright Eyes Christmas album after the podcast was over, I went, "This is exactly what that vlog is. It's this song. I was just trying to rip off this song in video form." And
I feel like a lot of my life is trying to rip off Conor Oberst.
We were creating the last episode. It was kind of on a tight turnaround to get it out before New Year's, and so I didn't put in as many clips as I could have, and I skipped over putting in a demonstrative clip of Tilly in the Wall. And I don't know.
That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know if Tilly in the Wall is ever going to come up again.
Okay, so let's put it in now.
Yeah. So this is Tilly in the Wall.
We should reference the conceit of Tilly in the Wall is that their drummer is a tap dancer.
Yes.
Fell down the stairs into my arms and swiftly ran the other way. And I heard the steady swell of applause. The 2 drunk kids trying to figure out which way was home.
And later on in their albums, sort of like Something Corporate, their main selling point was the piano, and they start to bury the piano.
Yeah.
Tilly in the Wall started to bury the tap dancer.
They started to do like other drum beats too, and it was like, just do your thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, call it something else.
Yeah.
Conor Oberst does not put out albums that are not Bright Eyes albums called Bright Eyes because it's calling it something else because it's something else.
Although here's what
people are afraid of doing that, and I think it's cool that I don't think you are as an artist. I don't think that you're afraid of doing that. You're willing to mix up your, like, if you have something like a project that you want to do, you'll do it in a completely different medium or whatever. You know, like, I've always been afraid of if I want to do something other than the mild revolution, I've kind of been afraid that people like won't pay attention or something, you know? Because they're like used to, like, can I put if I want to be a rapper, which I do.
Yeah. The good news is they don't pay
post that
attention, but it's okay. Like,
that's true.
And, you know, I mean, like, I have been doing this podcast now for 2 years, and I will, like, put up an episode of the podcast on YouTube, you know, on the old YouTube channel, just explicitly to be like, you know, by now you all should fucking know about this podcast, but here's an episode in case for some reason you cannot possibly figure out podcast technology. And then I'll get comments from people like as though I just made this and just put it up. And I like literally put on the video in giant letters, like originally posted January 5th, 2016 or whatever.
Right.
And I still get, and I'm like, man.
I do the YouTube. I've been starting to post things. I didn't do it with the Christmas album, but I've been starting to post things on YouTube anyway, because I feel like people are more likely to check it out.
It's true, but
because they need to fucking watch something.
It feels like it feels like admitting defeat when I put something up on YouTube to get somebody to notice it.
Yeah, but I'm pathetic enough to accept my defeat. Things I just want to quickly talk about that last episode.
Sure.
Obviously, me doing the voices haunts me. Like, duh. Of course it does.
We'll try to trick you into doing another voice today.
Why would I ever do it? I know I'm not going to be able to pull it off correctly. Anyway, things I stand by. Fuck Jimi Hendrix. Fuck the Shins.
Now, I know you have, you know, ethical reasons for saying fuck certain people. So is your grudge with James Mercer of the Shins that he basically fired the whole band after Australia, maybe?
Well, yeah, it was Australia, and I also kind of feel like the thing with the Shins is it's honestly mostly music based. It's mostly like, okay, so everything sounds like new slang, and that's your thing.
It's a good song though.
But is it a good song after you've heard it 40 different times? You know, between 3 albums, and it's all just fucking new slang over and over again.
I don't know. There's certain, like, I really like a fairly recent Shin song, Simple Song, that one.
When I was just 9 years old, I swear that I dreamt.
I don't think you're understanding my premise of when I say fuck somebody, I'm completely writing them off.
All right, fine. I'm going to go on the record as being vaguely pro
I'm not saying
Shins.
that my fuck blank is fair.
Right.
I'm just
saying, yeah, if you're gaining a rep as being the guy who says, fuck this guy, I want to gain a rep as the guy who just, like, sort of vaguely supports. Like, I like some of their songs, and they're doing their best, and I like that they're trying.
Okay, I like that. I'm fine with that. We'll be we'll be bad cop and vaguely supportive cop.
Does that mean you're not standing by your Wayne coin?
Oh, well, that was on Twitter.
Yeah, that wasn't on the episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll just throw out the ones that I've thrown out this week on Twitter. Fuck Ben Gibbard and fuck the Flaming Lips in general. Not even just that front man. I don't give a shit if you shoot firecrackers off in your show. Fuck you.
I'll tell you what. I vaguely support Ben Gibbard. And Do You Realize is a beautiful song.
Okay, how do you feel about Wayne Coyne supporting people mocking Native American headdress?
I feel like within the context of him trying to defend his friend, I feel like as a public figure, it was misguided, but understandable. That if you feel like your friend is getting pilloried on social media, he may have even been doing it intentionally to just deflect some of the anger going the way of his friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Like, if a million people are saying you should be killed for posting an Instagram of yourself wearing a Native American headdress, and as your friend who has a larger profile than you, I can become the lightning rod of hate and draw it away from you, then I see that as I support that.
That is fine in some ways, but you also you're doing it through fighting with another one of your friends.
Right.
Which then slowly leads you to effectively firing that friend from the.
It's
or,
what. Yeah.
Or let's say you're.
It's a Pyrrhic victory, is what you would call it.
Cool, love it. Well, if you turn the porch light on and let them all not withdraw, we can smoke a cigarette out on the wooden steps. The mosquitoes on our vampires, the moon is not your mother, even if she is preparing for a total eclipse. Get behind the wheel, straight in front of the storm. Get behind the wheel, straight in front of the storm.
I think what I was going to work toward was I was going to ask you, though, in the war of, in the divorce of Zooey Deschanel and Ben Gibbard, whose side are you on? Because that was for sure Zooey Deschanel's fault.
Oh, really? Was it?
I don't know, but I just feel like I don't think that. Okay, this is my thing. I'm not going to say fuck Zooey Deschanel, but I will know. I follow multiple New Girl cast members on Instagram, and I notice that they post a lot of like hanging out, palling around pictures
Yeah,
with
without her.
everybody
Yeah.
except her, and I'm like, she seems unfriendly.
Seems very vaguely similar to when we met Rilo Kiley.
That's true, which we were just
Sans
discussing.
Jenny Lewis, yes.
Yes, after we saw Rilo Kiley
Yeah, we
years
met
ago,
the whole band.
the whole band came out to chat. Jenny Lewis, MIA.
Yeah. I invited them to go camping with us. They
That is
seemed
true.
a little weirded out by it.
Well, it was raining and it was Vermont, so they were probably as mostly California area people.
I liked that I in retrospect, I liked that I like kind of called them out on it too, because they were like, that sounds better than what we're doing. We're getting on a bus and going somewhere. And I was like, you can come with us. Let's hop back into the Bright Eyes talk for a second. I have a little game I want to play with you.
Oh, okay. We're gonna play a little
Okay.
game. Ooh,
We're going to play a little game.
Oh,
Now, the
Fevers and
only
Mirrors
reason-
game.
The only reason, this is actually not a Fevers and Mirrors game specifically. It's a Bright Eyes game.
It's a shell game.
It's
I can't reference the same song title twice in one
But
episode.
you know what? We should, whenever we have a game, that segment should be called the
shell
game.
games. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shell game.
I am only doing this because you did so well in the Arcade Fire version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 Spotify Bright Eyes songs.
Oh God.
Okay. I'm going to give you a second to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to give you a clue before
Okay.
you start, which is that in my mind, and maybe yours, the most popular album by Bright Eyes is I'm Wide Awake It's Morning.
Yes.
Okay?
I can think of 2 songs that are definitely in the top 5 from that album.
So that is the hint.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, I'm not going to lie to you, it's difficult. But
Okay.
I also feel like you killed
I
the
feel
Arcade
like
Fire
I've
one.
seen it. I feel like I've seen the Bright Eyes Spotify page, and I like the thing is I just to handicap myself a little bit here, because even if I do well, I just want to say I look at the Bright Eyes Spotify page all the time.
Yeah, but I
I
don't
had
think-
basically never looked at the Arcade Fire Spotify page because I basically never listened to Arcade Fire on Spotify. But whereas I'm hitting the Bright Eyes Spotify page like every day.
Yeah, but I also feel like who looks at those top pages like
Yeah,
that
that's
often.
true.
And you don't have, and you don't have, the ladies in the room are taking their turns looking at the list before Zach gets
Okay,
to
so
it.
I'm gonna say First Day of My Life.
Yep,
Now got to be number 1.
it is number 1.
Okay.
What's number 2?
Lua?
Yeah,
2 for 2.
yeah.
Okay. So if I got it, so 3,
What?
Shot in the Dark.
Yeah.
You Are Your Mother's Child?
No, that's a good guess.
Ah, okay.
That is a good guess.
It's not in the top 5, though?
No.
Okay, so let me think. What could else be in the top 5? We Are Nowhere and It's Now?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. That's number 5.
Is that like, that's 5?
number
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't need to get it in order. He didn't get the Arcade Fire one in order, but
Okay, so.
you were
Wow,
close
so,
to getting
so
it in
3
order.
songs from A Wide Awake It's Morning.
Yeah.
And
And that's
so
the 3. So, oh, wait. No.
probably nothing. There's another one
Yeah. I shouldn't have given it to you.
at the bottom of everything? Train Underwater.
No.
Landlocked Blues?
Yes.
Whoa!
Okay. So,
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Now you have.
That's a great
obviously
song.
Obviously, you've guessed multiples.
So shit,
outside
4
of it,
out
but
of
you do have
5.
4 out of 5.
Oh,
Now,
also, wait a minute. You Are Your Mother's Child is a Connor Oberst song, not a Bright Eyes song. I'm an idiot.
We should get like a buzzer to like.
Yeah.
Or maybe you could punch in a buzzer.
So there's got so I'm only pulling from the People's Key back.
You need to.
Is it Ladder Song?
No, that's a great guess. And
'Cause
when
Lord
I was
covered Ladder
and
Song.
when I was really,
Yes, it sucks.
oh well,
Yeah.
I
I applaud the effort, but not a good idea.
like Lord. I
Yeah.
think that Lord's cool.
Yeah, I like
mean,
Lord
she's
too.
a fucking weirdo, but I like that.
Liability's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that's such a great song.
So you have to. I'm gonna give the last one to you
Okay.
because you've done so well. The season just passed where
Oh, is it a Christmas song?
yeah.
So it's Blue Christmas, maybe?
Yes.
Ah, so that'll change in like 2 months.
Christy was like, "There's no way he gets this," and I mean, I think you did. I think you probably guessed like 8 guesses.
Well, you gave me a.
Saying the third one. There's no way I would ever guess.
Blue Christmas. Yeah, I know. Blue Christmas is.
But you have to
a
you
shot
have
in
to
the dark
take
for sure.
situational context in
Right,
here because
right,
people were
because
just
they
listening
climb
to
on
it.
the list. I mean, I noticed that with John Denver. When you click on John Denver, it's like all of his Christmas songs because everyone had been listening to his Christmas album.
And right now, number 1 in New York is the number 1 Titus Andronicus song, but it has far fewer plays than A More Perfect Union. It's the
what
hottest.
Do you oh, wait. This is an episode of Your Release Radar.
Any day now, I shall be released.
We have the best news I've heard in 2018 so far. New Titus Andronicus album, March 3rd.
I love that they're. What do you think of number 1 in New York?
I think that Patrick Stickles' transformation into Joanna Newsom is almost complete, and I'm so excited about it.
That's weird.
Like-
that song does.
Like it's an
That song is
8-minute
weirdly-
unending.
You're right.
Like just explosion of lyrics.
I liked it a lot because I liked Titus Andronicus. The song itself, because it's fucking 10 minutes long.
Well, it's the musical equivalent, or not the music. It's the indie rock equivalent of the Dunkirk score, which is just this constantly rising action that
it's-
makes you feel a
and
little
it's
tense.
really good. And by the time you get to the end of it, you're like, holy shit, these guys can fucking rock it out. But it is fucking wicked long and kind of boring for a while. Like, because he's also not as, it's not like Joanna Newsom where you can hear every word.
Right. That's
So
true.
That's part of it.
Yeah, you kind of need to have the lyrics in front of you the whole time or something
That's
to
the
really get the effect of that song.
My favorite Titus Andronicus album.
Although, to be fair, you can't always understand what Joanna Newsom is singing either because
no,
she
but
uses
I'm
such
thinking
weird
of,
words.
I'm thinking of that Local Business.
Sawdust and Diamonds.
Local
That's the Joanna
Business-
Newsom song you're thinking of.
Yes, that is, and it sounds like a lot like it.
It doesn't have the same. The thing about Sawdust and Diamonds is it's this building thing, and then the chorus of every song is like this crazy downward spiral of like that's like one of the greatest songs ever.
Yeah, so
Unfortunately, you
Local
can't put
Business,
that on a Spotify playlist because
the Titus Andronicus album is fucking so good.
Yes.
I love that the premise too is like we made this plug in and play album. Like they didn't do anything that they couldn't recreate perfectly live. That was at least the premise that they had stated.
Yeah.
And that shit is so good.
Upon viewing Oregon's landscape with the flood of detritus is like one of the greatest songs of all time.
It's just like it's
Somebody died out upon the road today. I felt lost as I'm on side streets as that hit in the highway. I see first responders rushing as a white bloom dissipates, trying to pull their will to power from the flames.
We should have talked about that one during Christmas songs because it's not Christmas, but it has sleigh bells in it, so it sounds vaguely Christmassy.
Anything with sleigh bells sort of sounds Christmassy. What else? Do we have anything else that we need to talk to about your release radar?
I don't know of anything else that's coming.
Justin Timberlake.
Oh yeah, Man
I
of the
don't know if
Woods.
you're into that.
Man of the Woods.
Okay, Justin Timberlake, you're not a man of the woods.
Yeah, Justin
Okay.
Timberlake is the last man in the woods.
I love him though. I want him to do well, and I will say
if this is going to be a Bon Iver ripoff album, I'm here for it.
yeah, totally.
Justin Timberlake with an acoustic guitar, I'll eat that up.
Now, I wish that I had watched it again before I got here. He does have a song called Filthy out that and a video too.
Mixed Messages.
I know.
Album called Man of the
Filthy,
Woods. First single called Filthy.
Honestly, the whole
First single should
every
be
single-
Pine Cone.
Every single track is like that. By the way, the title is like, except for Man in the Woods, there is a titular track in there.
So there's a song called Man of the Woods, but the rest of them are like
but the rest
sluts
of them,
and
yeah,
clubs.
Yeah, that's like what it sounds like. I really want to read the track list.
Read it to me. Wait,
Because-
let me guess. Filthy, Up in This Club, Sluts in This Club,
my
Man of the Woods,
Okay, ready?
Perfume.
Okay, Filthy is the first song.
Okay.
You were right about that. Midnight Summer Jam. Sauce.
No.
I know.
I'm already not listening to this
Literally
album.
just Sauce.
I'm already not
Wait,
listening to this
wait.
album.
The fragile keep secrets gathered in pockets, and they'll sell them for nothing. A cheap watch or locket, that kind of gold washes off.
This gets even funnier at the end, but here we go. Ready? Okay. Track 4, Man in the Woods. 5, Higher, Higher.
Okay.
6, Wave.
Okay.
Supplies.
Okay. This song about it's just a list of his camping trip supplies.
Morning Light featuring, all he has written here is AK. Everyone online is like Alicia Keys. Okay? Probably, right?
Probably.
Okay, so Morning Light. And then Say Something featuring CS, he wrote, which everyone says Chris Stapleton because they're like buddies.
Oh, okay. I was thinking internet scholar Clay Shirky.
Hers, in parentheses, interlude. Okay. Flannel is one of the songs.
Okay.
Montana is
Montana.
one of the songs. Did you hear that? Montana is one of the songs. Breeze Off the Pond. Living Off the Land.
How long is this album?
It's long. The Hard Stuff. And the last song is called Young Man.
Okay.
So, Justin Timberlake. A. Why are you lying? A. B. If by the time what's the next Lifted is the next episode.
Yeah. Well, no. Read Music, Speak Spanish.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. For some reason, I thought in my mind we would go through the Bright Eyes albums and then go through other albums.
No, we're jumping out. We're going to Read Music, Speak Spanish next.
If I say fuck Justin Timberlake on that episode, my heart's going to be broken. I love this guy. But, oh no. Like,
Could happen.
it could. I think we could. Do you have anything that you want to do?
Let's go
Before
track
we
by
jump-
track into this
before we
motherfucker.
Jump into the track. Let's have like a section like track by track.
Let's
and
go
then,
track
like,
by
something
track.
plays.
So long, everything he shouted. Then he ran next door to Marco's house.
So, just to put Fevers and Mirrors into context, this is, I mean, it's not as though Conor Oberst had a breakout hit. He had several successful albums leading up to the 1-2 punch of I'm Wide Awake and Digital Ash.
Yes, which was his, I don't want to say peak because that implies like talent,
No, but like in
at
terms of commercial success.
Commercial success,
Yes.
yes.
He had 2 number 1 hits at
Yeah.
the same time.
And I will say that I think that the popularity of those albums led to some other stuff being more successful
Sure.
because of it. You know,
Yeah.
like people wanted to, like people were like, "Oh, I love that song, First Day of My Life. We should go see him live." Like even years after,
Which is the
even
thing.
like People's Key
Right.
time.
Which is why, first of all, First Day of My Life is we'll talk more about this when we get to I'm Wide Awake. It's a great song.
Yeah, it is.
So is Lua.
Yep.
And when we saw Conor Oberst at Prescott Park, there was like this real hipster dad dude there with his like young son, which I was very into. But then the last song of the night, Conor Oberst plays Lua, and the guy like gets up with his son and he's like, "Yeah, he's just gonna play the single or something." And I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" Like it's
Lua's like a perfect song.
yeah. It's a great song. This is not Conor Oberst's Filthy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
wrote some other
Yeah,
dumbass
yeah,
thing
yeah.
to get money,
To get people to listen
It's like
to
it's
it,
a great
yeah.
song and people happen to like
He's
it.
not fucking Ryan Adams.
Yeah, it's not his New York.
Yeah.
He didn't profit from a terrorist attack. It's not like people liked Lua because a terrorist attack happened right before it. No, so
We should specify on that. When Ryan Adams put out the album Gold, it was either right before or right after 9/11.
It's one of the many
I
albums
don't know if
that
I can't remember if it was before or after.
I think it was just before, but then he played, I Still Love You, New York, or whatever.
New York
is the name of the song on SNL.
Yeah.
And that kind of did, at the time, SNL was where America looked for post 9/11 catharsis for some fucking reason.
Yeah, for some
and
reason.
That's where they got it.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to also mention, because when I was articulating my theory of Everything Now and why it's actually an album about someone reacting to a lover's depression.
Which, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that's so beautiful. And like, even if it isn't the true stuff, like I'm like, that's what I choose to believe.
Well, it was the most Chuck Klosterman I've ever felt, and the reason is because in one of my favorite books of all time, Killing Yourself to Live, Chuck Klosterman articulates his theory as to why Radiohead's Kid A predicted 9/11, and it's a very convincing case. And he actually makes it as an argument. He says, because he brings up the fact that Wilco, Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, was perceived by some as predicting 9/11. It has a lot of destructive imagery, Ashes of American Flags,
is the perfect.
Tall Building Shake,
Yep.
all that stuff. But he said that was a coincidence. But let me tell you, Tom York knew about 9/11, basically, and it's fun anyway, which is a weird thing to say, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked feeling like Chuck Klosterman for a minute there, and I stand by my reading of Everything Now.
Can I tell a story about Chuck Klosterman really fast?
Sure.
When I met him at Keene, I gave him did I already tell this story on this podcast?
I don't think so.
I gave him a copy of the Mild Rev.
Yeah.
CD of the Mild Rev. And he took it. Okay, I know that this guy gets handed CDs and probably books even more. Here's this book I wrote. I'm sure he gets that even more. I gave him this CD, and he could not hide his disdain for it.
That's such a bummer. Yeah, because I feel like
he said out loud the Mild Revolution, like in a way that was like, your band's called the Mild Revolution. I'm going to fucking throw this thing in the trash.
I mean, maybe he was trying to do this kind of like male camaraderie joshing with you kind of thing. I can see that. Maybe he's like in his 40s, and that's kind of like a cultural signifier of that generation. But at the same time, no. Like,
I also probably took it harder too, because at the time, he was like my fucking guide.
Yeah.
I had just read 4.
Yeah, probably.
Something like that. I don't know if it was that one or not. But I was like, I had been reading everything, and I just loved him.
Another big influence on us, really, Chuck Klosterman, in terms of...
Yeah,
right.
I think so.
Like just...
Well, popular culture analysis, which is what you and I do.
Yeah, in most of our conversations.
Right. I literally went to school for it. I dropped out, not the point.
Well, but no, I agree. I feel like being the kind of person that people would want to hand albums to is like, that's a sacred privilege, man.
Yes,
you got to guard that light.
Thank you. That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
You saying that, because if that was me, I would be like, people give me their fucking CDs, and it would not lose its luster,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fuck Chuck Klosterman.
I wish I was that
on my
kind.
list.
I wish I was that kind of person. Every once in a while, someone will send me their podcast or something, and I'm like so into it. I'm like, yes,
guys,
I'm gonna listen to your podcast.
Send us your shit.
Yeah,
that's what we're trying to say.
Yeah,
send us your shit.
I love it. I love other people's videos. One time, a dude sent me a poem and asked me to critique it, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I will, man."
When people cover Mild Rev songs online, like I could masturbate to that. like. I could. I
know, and I always feel bad about that one time that I said, or you said, but you were quoting me when you played with Aaron and Wraith.
Oh my God, I wasn't quoting you. I said that haunts me that I said that.
Yeah,
Wait, what are you thinking of?
You were introducing that I sent you the video of Aaron and Wraith and said that it was a cover of your song, but it's not like the other covers.
No, I thought that. No, that's not what I was saying.
Well, because you said it within the context of a conversation, we get to both feel guilty about it.
Oh my God, I feel super guilty about that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say it like that. Because all of the covers that were good. You know what I mean? I made it sound like, for context of listeners.
I'm not going to put a clip in. We don't need to relive this.
I made it sound like I didn't like other covers and that Aaron Revels was like the standout one. So anyway. it made me feel shitty afterwards that I said it. I was also shit-faced, so whatever.
No, I did an interview about Rockin' Sock and Robot when I was in college.
Yeah.
And I told a story about the origin of Hobisky and referencing Tad. And I said something that seemed sort of very dismissive of him.
Of Tad?
Yeah, and not like he was my best friend growing up,
Right,
you know?
right.
And I felt so shitty afterwards. I thought it was the kind of interview where it was going to be like a blurb and not a transcript of the interview. And it was a transcript of the interview. So like every rambling word I said, a sophomore in college who, like it was bad. And I am pretty sure that interview is no longer on the internet, for which I am very grateful.
My hauntings are all on the internet. They're all there. The most popular, one of the highest viewed Mild Revolution videos is one that John Paula posted that sounds like it sounds like I had never learned how, it sounds like I didn't know how to play the guitar.
A lot of my worst moments are on John Paula's YouTube channel too, We got to get that shit taken down.
We got to do something about that. So let's go, let's dive in.
Okay. So 1999, this album was recorded.
They say in the liner notes, they say it was the last month. So it was December 99.
Which is funny because Contrast and Compare on Letting Off the Happiness is very audibly recorded at the end of 1997.
Whoa.
Because you hear Conor Oberst say they're recording it on New Year's Eve. He says, no, it's something, so it's 5 minutes before 1998.
You are so right. I haven't heard that song in a long time.
So recording in winter, a common theme for Conor Oberst, all the way up to Ruminations, recorded in the winter.
Yeah.
But so this is a winter recorded album at the end of 1999. It starts out with a song called A Spindle, a Darkness, a Fever, and a Necklace.
I touch the clasp of your locket with its picture held, some secret you wouldn't tell, but let it choke your neck.
Which I never knew the and was in there.
Really?
I've always thought of it as a spindle, a darkness, a fever, and necklace.
Yeah, that makes sense. We have talked in the past about pronunciation of mirror.
Yes.
How funny is it that this album has every single version of the pronunciation
Yes.
that you could possibly...
The most typical Conor Oberst pronunciation of mirror is mirror.
Yes.
One syllable.
Yes.
But he says mirror
He says
so
mirror
many times.
30 fucking times in this album.
This album is called Fevers and Mirrors, and the word fever or the word mirror probably appears in every song. Almost every song.
We should check that. And if it's not a fever or a mirror, it's something about a fucking clock.
Or a scale.
Yeah.
So units of measurement.
Calendars.
Yeah. Units of measurement. Scales, calendars, clocks. Fevers, mirrors. I think I wrote another thing. Doubt. The whole theme of doubt comes up a lot. And it's because there's a kind of... there's stuff on here that's probably the most atheistic of any Conor Oberst song albums, but there's a lot of parallels drawn between like religious faith and romantic faith, and basically having no faith in either. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed.
Romantic faith is an interesting phrase, and it also makes me think that could be included in the thesis statement of all of Bright Eyes music.
Yeah,
you know what
that's
I mean?
true. Yeah, we get some inklings of themes too about the ground, soil or grass.
Yep.
And like listening to the earth and that sort of thing in here too, that later blossoms very much in the album Lifted.
Right.
So there's a lot of that starts out here, but more than anything, this album I think conjures images of dark attic-y rooms and like dusty mirrors and haunted houses. And so Conor Oberst's publishing name,
Yes.
it's like bedrooms, and spiders.
Bedrooms and spiders.
And that always makes me think of this album. This is the bedrooms, and spiders album. That's what this album is, just full of bedrooms and spiders.
I think that every word that you just said a minute ago, haunted houses, you listed everything. This is Bright Eyes 101 shit.
Yeah.
You know,
this is bedrock Bright Eyes stuff. This album
Yes.
It's like, if you like this, and the people that have been talking to us, who've been listening to it, like it, it's like, man, I can't wait. You're on board. Like,
Yeah,
if you like
yeah.
Fevers and Mirrors,
Then
you're
you're gonna
here.
like the rest
You're
of it.
home, baby.
Because it's almost there are some aspects of Fevers and Mirrors that's almost like it's like the whole like listenable thing that we were talking about last episode. There's some stuff that it is hard to listen to at first, you
Sure.
know?
I keep trying to get into the uninitiated mindset.
Yeah, that's
And it's
tough.
hard.
That's tough.
It's hard to remember what it was like. This is a couple of the songs on here were literally the very first Bright Eyes songs I heard.
Me
And
too.
it's hard to think about what I originally thought. I do have some when we get to those songs.
You had said, well, let's dive in. So a spindle, a darkness, a fever, and a necklace.
So this is one of we talked last time, a stated tradition of
Yes.
Bright Eyes albums
Yes.
is to have a difficult opening song to shake off casual listeners.
Well,
I don't know if that's...
I just don't want you to put too much pressure on the shaking off listeners thing. I think it's almost like
It's a
almost
test.
like a trademark with him.
I guess so.
You
But
know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
I feel like
almost how I look at it.
I do feel like I explicitly heard, but he probably was joking when he said this, that it was like a test, that you have to like get through something at the beginning to get into the rest of the album. And this is one of the purest examples of that.
Yeah.
Because it is a young child reading a book that's called Mitchell is Moving,
Yeah.
which I didn't know until today
I didn't either.
is about a dinosaur.
Oh, actually, I didn't know that. I didn't know the name of the book. Until
Yeah,
today.
later on when you hear the second part of the recording come in halfway through the track, they actually talk about like scales and
Yeah.
like scales on dinosaur, not scales like weighing things,
Oh.
but it's like a dinosaur is moving away from his friend and the friend doesn't want him to move.
Right.
And so that's the story that the kid is reading, and I think it's Connor Oberst helping the kid read
Yeah.
in the background, and then the song slowly starts to come in.
And it really trickles in nicely.
And it
nice
comes in
pretty.
and it's a beautiful song.
It is. It's so worth the wait.
Yeah. I wrote down some of the lyrics because I was just enjoying the lyrics so much. So we imagine a darkness where all shapes divide, solids changing into light. Like, that's awesome.
Yes.
And also, I want to say that when I was listening to that and writing that part down, I was listening to this song today at work again, and someone's cell phone went off in the office, but it was this kind of like quiet tinkling thing, and I was like, oh, that's a part of the song I've never heard before.
That's so
like,
funny.
that's how dense some of this
Yeah,
shit is.
it
You
is,
can listen
man.
to it and not hear something you never heard
There
before.
are literally times in this album where Mike Mogus is credited as just atmosphere.
Yes, which in at least one case literally is he turns on a TV.
Yeah, yeah. Like the album is layered so heavily. That's one thing that I think Connor Oberst does so well is he can layer the fuck out of a song, and it all sounds really good.
Yeah.
It only sounds jumbly when he wants it to sound jumbly.
Yeah.
You know?
Another set of great lyrics, and that's this song. Near a sea of pianos, there were waves of chords that crashed against the shore in one huge and useless roar.
Ugh.
I was like, God damn, Connor
Dude,
Oberst.
the guy, his lyrics should be like, I don't know, they need to be put somewhere and kept protected.
Yeah.
This guy is a poet first and foremost.
So this song evolves into a theme that is going to be something that will be revisited throughout the kind of Bright Eyes discography, which is basically talking himself or someone out of suicide.
Yeah, don't destroy yourself like those cowards do. Maybe the sun keeps coming up 'cause it's gotten used to you.
Yeah. Also, so I guess we should just quickly say Connor Oberst had a cousin, right? Kill himself early on.
I don't know.
I think it was his cousin.
Because he talks about different people. I guess I'm thinking of like Poison Oak.
Poison
but
Oak is what I'm thinking of.
But he makes a reference to Justin, and Justin is his brother who's alive. So I don't know.
Huh. Okay. Well,
But somebody,
as
yes.
far as there's a lot of Bright Eyes folklore, I think, too.
and
he
some stuff
purpose-
that he makes up about himself.
He purposefully created this persona.
Yeah.
You know? And
yeah, we got to talk about that when we get to some of the more like overwrought songs.
yeah.
Because I feel like he got so much shit for being like Mr. Drama Queen, but he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
like he's
he
being
is.
funny a
He
lot
is.
of the time.
And a lot of, we'll talk about it when we get there in the album, but a lot of the whole reasoning for having that fake interview at the end of the album is to point and like make fun of
to
himself.
take a little air out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love that. But okay, so
I thought about, so this is, I thought about having like a weird loud tone playing for like the first 8 minutes of this podcast and then just having you say like, can you turn that sound off? And I'd be like, okay.
that when that happens, I re-listened to that tonight in the car, and when that happens, it's like
I
the
think the guy-
fucking world breaks.
I think the
You know
interviewer
what I
guy
mean?
just says like, yep. And then it stops.
Yeah,
It's
and
so
it stops.
funny.
But
That's-
it's like, but it's funny, but it's also like a twist in a movie. You're like, holy fucking shit!
Yeah, you're like,
I was
oh.
so used to that thing playing in my ears. Oh,
It's
God.
also one of the first times you realize that whatever you're listening to is not real.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so a scale, a mirror, and those indifferent clocks.
I just wanted to also just give a quick shout out
sorry.
to, in that song.
oh
No, that's the first, you just said the second song title.
Yes.
These song titles are
I
very
know,
similar.
I know that. Yeah.
So, in A Spindle in a Darkness,
Yeah.
there's a pretty wild accordion solo from
Oh, yeah,
Tim Kasher. So
Yeah.
our boy Tim Kasher of Cursive plays a lot of accordion on this album to really great effect in a couple of songs in particular. But this one's like very avant-garde accordion.
Well, you know what's funny is we should quickly just say Bright Eyes did some serious album packaging when CDs were a thing.
Oh yeah.
This is the first of them, which it has a mirror.
Yeah, it actually reflects.
It's an actual reflection on the front of the cover, which they do in a like a little drop reflecting piece that goes into the thing.
Yeah.
But like he does for is it Casadega that has the seeing eyeglass through it?
Yeah,
and
it
stuff?
does.
He does some cool ass shit with his packaging. But when you open up the package, there's pictures of people, and I never realized that it was Tim Kasher behind the accordion.
yeah.
In that picture.
Yeah.
And I'm just so used to seeing him now that I was like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
You know, young Tim Kasher.
Young Tim Kasher playing
So a scale,
accordion.
mirror, and those indifferent clocks.
Yes, so this is the second song. It jumps right in. Like it has
Yeah, it
that like
does.
has that tone and that kind of static, and then it just goes right in.
Here's a scale, weigh it out, and you'll find easily more than sufficient doubt that these colors you see were picked in advance by some careful hand with an absolute concept of beauty.
And I feel like it's like a very emblematic of Bright Eyes kind of song.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I was trying to distill what Fevers and Mirrors sounded like in one song, I might play this, but then be like, but other songs are better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this song is a good intro song to Conor Oberst.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like this if you are going to like him, you'll like this song. Mm-hmm. He's got some awesome flutes all through it. He's got
Lee.
some, you know, he's got some good shit.
Yeah.
The band sounds awesome. You know what's funny? I was referencing Maria Taylor so much. Maria Taylor's not on this album.
One female band member. It's Jiha Lee
Yeah.
on flute.
Yeah.
And I think nobody does backing vocals. Maybe one.
I know. But the vocals on this album are unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
He does so much mixing and stuff. Like, not mixing, I mean like, I don't mean like mixing an album. I mean like mixing different ways of hearing a person's voice and
Yes.
stuff that you don't even notice that there's like no backing vocals.
While still saving so many of his trick bag for
Yeah.
Lifted.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's
But so-
he's fucking amazing.
This is just a scale, a mirror, and those indifferent clocks is like it's a very quick song too.
Yeah.
like it's like one verse and then like a flute solo and then maybe a little more singing. I don't even know if there is.
I don't remember.
It's over in a flash.
It is.
And leads you right into The Calendar Hung Itself.
Which The Calendar Hung Itself hit off the album. In my mind, this album is like every song is perfect.
I'm sure I've said this. This is
But-
probably one of the first two Bright Eyes songs I ever heard was The Calendar Hung Itself.
And I think it was, I mean, it has to be one of the first songs that I heard too, because pretty much everything I knew of Bright Eyes right off the bat was from you.
Yeah.
And Chris Dalpy. Shout out to Chris Dalpy. What's up, bro?
Does he kiss your eyelids in the morning when you start to raise your head, and does he sing to you incessantly from the space between your bed and walls? You walk around all day at school, his feet inside your shoes, looking down every few steps to pretend he walks with you.
So the calendar hung itself is fucking brutal. That song is the shit.
It is a consciously over the top
And
breakup song.
And but I mean the music is fucking unbelievable.
I remember thinking when I first heard it, I was like, there's a synth sound in it that almost sounds like a tea kettle.
With the clock's heart, it hangs inside its open chest with hands stretched towards the calendar, hanging itself.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? How do you do this?
There's some stuff on this album with instrumentation and stuff that's like, you're fucking already next level shit.
There's a lot of great
and
percussion.
You're fucking like 18. Like,
Yeah,
however old
he was 19. Yeah. There's great percussion on this song. Mike Mogus is like all over the crazy electric guitars.
Yep.
There's a lot of really cool stuff.
And I mean, this is a song that has stayed. I mean, he still plays this song live
Yes.
on the reg. You know, it is a fucking banger.
I saw this. He played this song when I saw him in Concord, and this was when he had 2 drummers, a harp player, all kinds of crazy stuff, and they like shredded that song. It was unbelievable. Like people were peeling themselves off the floor. They had to put a new roof on the building after that song.
Like, this is one of those songs that's like, you need to read the lyrics. You need to sit down and read the lyrics. I mean, they're all pretty clear. You can listen to them in the song. But I feel like having them in front of you is like so satisfying to read.
My favorite lines from it, which I literally never known exactly what the words were until today. I was looking it up. And in a story told, she was a little girl in a red rouge, sun-bruised field, and there were rows of ripe tomatoes where a secret was concealed.
Yeah.
I was like,
He's
God
amazing.
damn.
Yeah, he's amazing. I love the imagery of because it makes you feel so in it.
Speaking of tea kettle synth.
Yeah. speaking of TKs. Yeah, we'll definitely all do tea. Thank you. I like the whole bit of the song when he's saying like, does he lay awake listening to your breath, worrying that you smoke too many cigarettes? Like,
Yeah.
Like he just captures a shitty relationship
Yeah.
so well that you're like, yeah, this is textbook. This is the definition of like how you feel when you are in a shitty relationship.
Yeah.
You know, does he walk around all day at school with his feet inside your shoes and like everything?
That's a very Connor Obersty detail.
Yeah.
That he's like wearing the girl's shoes.
He is. He's just. I mean, this song is.
And like the way that it kind of like the way it like dips into that really intense groove right at like the clock's heart, it hangs inside its open chest or whatever, is so cool. And the drums get so like floor tom heavy. It's great, man.
Yeah, it's all around an amazing song. Then we go right into Something Vague. This album is fucking full of hits.
This is like between those 2 songs too. It's like 2 totally different modes,
versions of him,
and 2 totally awesome songs.
Now and again, it seems worse than it is, but mostly the view is accurate.
And like this sound, this Something Vague sound is something that like we're gonna see in the future. A lot of Conor Oberst sounds that kind of sound like this song almost.
Yeah.
Like I think of like Bowl of Oranges having something a
Maybe,
little
a
like
little bit.
this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. There's some end of the spectrum of what Conor Oberst's music is like, where there's a corner where you're like, it's the Something Vague corner.
But there's something about that's unique to this song about its bass guitar, accordion, flute working together. That's such a simple and beautiful combination.
There's a dream in my brain that just won't go away. It's been stuck there since it came a few nights ago.
Like this song, this is one of the all-time greatest. This is like
Yeah.
a top 10 Bright Eyes song.
It also has maybe one of the best fucks, which I was going to ask you in the last podcast episode where you go through fucks. I don't think it's on that list, is it?
I only talked about Jenny Lewis.
Oh, it was only Jenny Lewis fucks?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was. I thought it was other people.
Oh
too,
man, if
no?
I had to expand the list to all-time greatest fucks, that'd be really hard.
Yeah, I know. Something vague. Fuck
In
is-
songs, in movies, in 10 Cloverfield Lane, Mary Elizabeth Winstead has one of the greatest fucks of all time.
10 Cloverfield Lane is really good.
It's a great movie.
So this is Zach and Morgan going to the movies. So what I like about that fuck too is that it's perfect Conor Oberst. When
Yes.
his voice breaks, there's something so magical about when Conor Oberst goes up high with his voice.
Oh, yeah.
Which we hear a lot of in this album, and it's so good. When
Which
it happens.
he stopped eventually.
Yeah,
Conor
he
Oberst
does.
he stopped doing for a long time and has sort of started up again, and it's so exciting.
fucking glowing in the dark. Like it's so perfect.
Yeah.
Like a star, fucking glow in the dark for the starving eyes to see.
It's so satisfying too.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, an imagery song.
There's a dream in my brain. It's like the standing on a bridge with his mom and his brother and all that shit. It's
And
like
then the bridge disappears and I'm standing on air.
Yeah,
And, like,
man.
It's like this is the song, man.
I also love that this song actually sort of it like reframes the thesis of the album in a way that I can really appreciate, okay? Because in the part where he says, "Do these dreams have any meaning?" No, I think it's more like a ghost that's been following us both, something vague that we're not seeing, something more like a feeling. I can totally identify with that because sometimes when I'm working on a podcast episode, I'm like, I don't know exactly what I'm getting at, but maybe the fact that I'm trying to figure out what I'm getting at is what this is about. And I was like,
By the way,
game recognized game, baby.
that whole part of no, I think it's more like a ghost is another.
With that bass.
It's doom doom ba-doom, boom.
Yeah, it's such a great bass part.
But it's
Shout out to Matt McGinn of Cursive on bass.
something about it is it's so engaging. And it's like he's talking to you, you know?
Yeah.
No, I think it's more like a ghost. Like you're like something about it. You're just so fucking wrapped up in it that everything he says affects you.
By the way, I was looking at lyrics a bit today, and like sometimes reading certain words in lyrics for the first time ever. But I really appreciate the way that Conor Oberst's lyrics are actually written out in his lyric books with punctuation. For some reason, sometimes if I read lyrics and there's punctuation in it, I get so much more excited about the lyrics because I can really feel how they were written.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so
Yes.
like
Because
there's-
you don't write without. I mean, I guess some people probably do, but most people write with punctuation.
Well, and when you're working with song lyrics or poetry, you don't necessarily have to use it.
Right,
So sometimes the
right.
lack of punctuation
Well, and I think
indicates
that-
something. So, like, I guess one of the ones I always think of, it's not a Conor Oberst one, but I always think of is there's a hop-along song called Tibetan Pop Stars. And the lyrics, toward the end of the song, there's a line that's, it's, "You are the only one, period. You are, period." And I
Yes.
was like, oh, man, and I love that lyric so much, in part because of the way I read it.
Well, and punctuation sometimes changes your meaning too.
Yeah.
You read something and you're like, oh my God, I didn't take it that way at all.
Yeah. Like, "You are the only one you are" is a line. But
Yes.
"you are the only one, period.
Yes.
You,
You
are,
are.
period,
Yeah.
is like so much more.
Yeah, I agree. Along with, by the way, that punctuation is written in there.
Yeah.
How do you remember? This was so frustrating for me. Again, back when the internet wasn't the thing that you listened to things on. When you were listening to them on CDs, do you remember how frustrating it was that Bright Eyes did not have a track list on the back of the albums?
Yes.
That was so fucking frustrating to me. I was like looking at, even at Tonight on Fevers and Mirrors, I was like, oh my God, remember how fucking frustrating it was standing in a store?
I think he
the only
basically
times
doesn't
he does
ever.
it? You know the only times he does it? It's on singles and shit. Because I think he wants, like, I think the record label is probably like, no, we can't sell this like that because people will buy it like a full album and then be fucking pissed that there's only 4 songs on
Oh,
it.
that's true. That's a good point.
So like the Four Winds thing has with Smoke Without Fire and shit like that.
Yeah.
That all has
Cartoon
track
Blues.
lists. Oh Holy Fools has track lists. Now episode of Bright Eyes, Full Hearts Can't Lose is brought to you by The Last Rampage on whatever you watch movies on. Heather Graham's in it, and it has a 5-minute fucking commercial for it in front of every Harmontown episode that I'm trying to fucking listen to. So it's gotten to the point where I have to skip 5 minutes in advance on Harmontowns before the show starts because of the fucking Last Rampage. Oh my God.
This episode of the Last Podcast is brought to you by Frasier on Netflix. Have you guys watched Frasier? It's fucking good.
After our last visit, I do want to start watching Frasier.
There's a dream in my brain that just won't go away. It's been stuck there since it came a few nights ago. And I'm standing on a bridge in the town where I lived as a kid with my mom and my brother. And then the bridge disappears, and I'm standing on it, locked in, holding me, and I hang like a star, fucking glowing in the dark for all the starting eyes to see. We wished on, but now I'm confused. Is this death really you?
Let's hop on to track 5, The Movement of a Hand.
The movement of a hand, which is maybe one of the weirder. It's so the movement of a hand is like an allusion to like waving. It's
I
like the
guess.
movement of a hand
Yeah.
is waving,
Yeah, I
which
know.
is like one of the weirder Conor Oberst lyrical decisions. It's kind of Yoda-esque.
I will say I feel like Conor Oberst is a master of naming songs.
He is.
So having a song.
This is
called
maybe my least
A
favorite
Mo-
of the titles in the
I
album,
know,
but
I know.
I mean, because that's the thing, right? When I first started listening to Bright Eyes, I was looking up Bright Eyes stuff on LimeWire, and if you look up a song that's called "The Calendar Hung Itself,"
Yeah.
and you're 15, you're like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, that's true. That's
so,
true.
but then all of his songs were so cool, and what was fun for me was I was coming from bands like Taking Back Sunday, who had these wordy, weird titles that were just they were like inside jokes with the band. You know, they had nothing to do with what the song was about.
Right.
So it was really cool to have there be a really cool title and have it actually have resonance within the song and not just be some bullshit like "cute without the E" cut from the team.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and he gets even better at it too. Like throughout time, the names of the songs, I don't know what it is. There's something really sad when a song is properly titled,
Yeah.
or when a song is titled in something.
No, it's one of life's great small pleasures. A well-titled song.
Out. Something about that. Like every time I hear a Bright Eyes track, I'm like, that's the perfect name for that song.
I'm also super partial to great names of TV episodes.
Yes, me too.
So like, and one thing I love about
Because Aaron Sorkin started that in both of us. I think.
oh yeah, he's great at it. And then another person who's great at it, despite like, well, at this point, I guess I can forgive the back half of Weeds for not being good,
Genji, Cohen?
because Genji Cohen went on to create
Genji?
yeah, went on to create Orange Is the New Black and had something to do with Glow, which are both amazing.
Glow is so good. Did we talk about it?
We didn't talk about it on the show.
Glow is so fucking good. It's crazy, and it's because of Marc Maron.
Marc Maron's
which
amazing.
You're like he. I think it mostly came from himself. He like kind of downplayed his role almost. It seemed like when he was talking about
Sure,
the show.
he barely talked about it.
And it's like, you're the fucking star of the show.
This guy quietly came in and delivered like the performance of a fucking lifetime. And
fact
didn't
that
say
he is
shit about
not-
it. He
the
talks
fact that he
every
is
week
not-
for hours. And he didn't say anything about, by the way, I just acted the shit out of a TV show.
Like, and I kill it through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like, I think that like his former drug stuff is part of why he's so good at it.
I'm so here for Marc Maron's second act or third act as like Oscar caliber actor. You know what I mean?
I love Marc Maron.
Somebody write
I've
Marc
never-
Maron's Oscar movie.
I have never. There are times where I go in and out of like being super into the podcast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I haven't listened to it in a few weeks at this point,
Mm-hmm.
at least, because I've been obsessed with Harmontown. But and just anything he wants to do, I'm like, you fucking do it, dude. I fucking love you.
My podcast regimen now, oddly, is that I just will dip into a show that I haven't listened to in a while and just listen to that show for 2 weeks. And
That's a good way to go.
and I don't and it's partly it's partly the way that the podcast app works now that I like forget what else I listen to.
Me too.
I think it's the podcast app is prettier now.
Yeah, it is.
But it
it's
doesn't.
a little, it's a little jumbly.
Yeah.
My podcast listening schedule is this: it's Harmontown, and when an episode of the last podcast comes out.
Those are the two.
Soon all the joy that pours from everything makes fountains of your eyes.
All right. Yeah, so we didn't really say anything about, let me see.
The movement of a hand is what we're on.
The movement of a hand.
And I think there's some really amazing stuff in this song. It's not the best song on the album.
It's vocally very different. It's like
I-
a little higher but sort of sweeter or something.
and
it's
I
like
think that-
softer.
I think that this is kind of an interesting point in Conor Oberst's life because he's not a good singer yet. You know what I mean? There's some amazing stuff on here. He can still go high and he can scream and he sounds good. But like, I think that if you put this song 2 albums ahead of, if it was on Casadega, it wouldn't fit at all. But if it was, his voice could handle it a little better.
Maybe that's true. Yeah.
And
There's
like-
definitely something that happens with musicians where after they release one album that's whatever, that they manage to tour behind or something, they just suddenly leap forward. They get incredibly better at performing. So to talk about Conor Oberst, by the way, at this time, at this era, if you watch the documentary Spend an Evening with Saddle Creek, which I've been meaning to rewatch.
But you haven't because it's fucking wicked boring.
Is it?
I remember it. No, you know what I remember is I remember that Spend an Evening with Saddle Creek. There is a documentary for all of you Bright Eyes.
It's probably only
new-
available on
new
DVD. You know,
fans.
it's like The Room, the Tommy Wiseau movie. It's like if you don't know somebody with a copy of it, you're not going to get to see it.
So I remember it being I think it's the start is very slow moving, and that's what I remember.
And it's like it's sort of mini little profiles of everybody who was on Saddle Creek at the time. And
Right.
one thing that's frustrating is that they spend maybe 30 seconds on Rilo Kiley.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
there's a shot of them performing Spectacular Views, and you're just like, I want to see more of this. But in that documentary, there's a clip of Conor Oberst performing the next song we're about to talk about, and he like can't fucking do it. Like he can't, like he stops every second, and he's like screwing up
on
the
the
piano
piano.
part. Yes.
Yeah.
And I also remember reading a review of a Conor Oberst show around the Fevers and Mirrors era where like he broke a string on stage.
And it crippled his set.
Yeah, like had to spend
I
like
remember
20
that,
minutes
too.
fixing it and then broke another string like seconds later. And that was what the review was about.
Yeah.
Like, but what's crazy is I started going to see Conor Oberst live a year and a half later, and he was amazing by
When was
then.
the first time we saw Conor Oberst? Was it?
Somerville. It was the one with the Monsters of Folk. It was M. Ward and Jim James pre Monsters of Folk having a name.
Right.
So it was a solo show.
That was the first time we saw him.
Between
Am I-
Lifted and I'm Wide Awake.
I was gonna say, am I right or wrong that he played Lua that night?
Yeah, he did. So it was before I'm
He
Wide
had
Awake came
Lua-
out.
He had Lua like a year at least before that album.
It was quite a bit
was being
before.
recorded.
Yep.
Yeah.
He had a couple of those songs. I think he played We Are Nowhere and It's Now, too. He was great. He was still, as he did at all those times, like he got blackout drunk and laid down in the aisle next to us.
He was like 6 feet from us.
Yeah. But,
Which 14-year-old Morgan Little was like.
oh, I keep track of the
There's-
times I've been physically close to Conor
Yeah,
Oberst.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
him laying on the ground. It's like there's Jesus is right there.
Yeah.
you know, like
Was it in 2015 when I saw Conor Oberst in Portland with Josh, we were like a foot and a half from the stage, and it was the closest I've ever been to Conor Oberst, and it was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it's weird to see him live because you're like, I'm because we're both so fucking obsessed with the guy.
Yeah.
That when you see him in person, you're like, That's my guy.
It's hard to take your eyes off him like ever,
Yeah,
which
you're
is
like,
so
"That's my guy."
weird. I feel obsessed, but
When
it's
I
true.
when I first saw Jeff Tweedy, I had had 2 DVDs of him. I had, whatever. I had been so consuming of Wilco that when I saw him, it was almost surreal because it was like, it's like seeing my dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. Speaking of documentaries, by the way, if you're only going to watch one music documentary, just watch I'm Trying to Break Your Heart. Skip the Saddle Creek one. It's not that good. But I'm Trying to Break Your Heart's the best music documentary of all time.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so it gives you everything that you want.
My second place nominee is Mistaken for Strangers, documentary about the
I
National.
still haven't seen that.
So good.
Okay, let me say this: go the Morgan Little and Zach Little route on I'm Trying to Break Your Heart. Watch that movie before you ever listen to any Wilco.
Yeah, you know why I did that? Because the guy who wrote AbsolutePunk.net, a pop punk blog that I followed religiously at the time, said to do that.
Wow.
He said, I just saw this documentary. Even if you don't know who Wilco is, you should see it. If you care at all about music or being in a band or creating, you should see this documentary.
Which
and I
is
was like,
true. I mean,
okay,
it is
man.
very
Okay, Absolute Punk Joe, or whatever his name was.
watching a documentary about someone creating an art album. A very weird whatever blank. Insert whatever you want to call it, whatever album it is. Having a something a little less than straightforward.
I took a lot of lessons about just the literal manual work of creativity from watching that documentary.
You know what I don't like about that documentary, even though I mean I love it. It's amazing. I wish that they had at least acknowledged the fact there's no way that they didn't know that Jeff Tweedy was on drugs through that whole thing. There's only one scene where he's throwing up in a bathroom and he comes up with some bullshit reason why he's throwing up. He's like, oh, it's the medication I'm on. And the movie ends with them being like, 2 months later, Jeff Tweedy checked into fucking rehab.
Right.
And like that whole album was written while he was fucking hooked on Adderall.
So you
whatever it
think
was.
that it's a little bit like the original Catfish documentary situation where you think maybe there was information that the people that the film itself was pretending not to notice?
I don't know. I'm saying at least, I don't know. I'm saying at least the band knew.
Sure.
There's no way that Glenn Cochi didn't walk into this new band, start playing with these guys, really get into them, because Glenn Cochi's brand new at the beginning of that album. There's no way that he wasn't like, so the boss is a junkie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
That's
have
true.
to fucking know that.
The other thing that maybe colors I'm Trying to Break Your Heart a little bit is, if you don't know already, don't Google Jay Farrar before you watch the documentary. Let the end of that story be a surprise to you, unfortunately.
Arionette is track 6.
Arionette. Okay.
And the sad act like lepers. They stick to the shadows. They long to ring bells of warning, to tell of their coming, so that the pure can shut their door.
I read something about Arionette on Genius, the lyric website, which, by the way, Genius, the website, for non-rap lyrics is completely fucking useless. Like,
The rap lyrics is where I learned about it.
yeah, well, because the rap lyrics, they can explain to you references to things that are particular to, like, a very particular subculture in Baltimore or something. But Connor Oberst, it's like, he's referring to a scale, which can be used to measure things, which in this case is used as a symbol for measuring something. And you're like, whatever.
Yeah, I can't
every
think of any
once in a
time
while.
I don't think I've ever used that site other than just looking at lyrics.
Yeah.
I don't think I've used it. I don't think I've ever clicked on like the information when it wasn't a rap song.
I have tried it quite a bit to try and find out what's going on in certain songs.
Yeah,
but
that stuff that you've always had a question about.
Right.
That's kind of why I think that website exists, right?
yeah, but the problem is none of the stuff I want to know, but it's in there. It's not there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I read something that, like, they made some reference to the fact that Arionette is like some kind of Greek joke in its name. That Arionette is like a combination of words. It's supposed to be some kind of joke in Greek. But they mentioned that Connor Oberst's birthday, February 15th, is like a Greek festival of something. And I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah, no.
Connor Oberst isn't like, well, because I was born on a Greek holiday, I decided to put a Greek joke in the name of the fictional woman,
I think he
like the
probably
fictional
heard
love
that
interest of this
song
album.
and was like, I mean, I'm sure he probably heard that name somewhere and was like, that's a fucking killer name to put in as
Yeah.
your stand-in song.
So Arianette is like a recurring. She will recur in this album, and Sunrise
Yeah,
Sunset.
I think it's 3 times that she's referenced in the song,
so
in the songs.
this is a strange song, but I really like.
Okay,
Arianette.
so first of all, I will say, Arianette is a song that reminds me of you.
because I used to play it all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, in general, there are songs that just remind me of you.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly the songs that you play. That's true. But so I attach this song to you. I attempt to tip the scales to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
You talk a lot about songs sounding haunted.
Okay. Yep.
I'm sure you could say that's true about a lot of songs on this album, but I think Arianette's a good example of one.
Yeah. It sounds witchy.
Witchy, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you know what you don't laugh hard enough at in our last episode?
What?
Sexy Ghost, the Maria Taylor thing.
No, I was just struck by how true it was.
Every time I think about it, I laugh. I'm
Yeah.
like, Sexy Ghost is the perfect way to describe her.
Yeah, that's true. Which,
So-
by the way, we got to just mention that a couple days after the podcast dropped, Maria Taylor posted a picture on Instagram of her hugging Connor Oberst,
Yeah.
and said something about wanting to spend more time with friends. And I was like, yes, and listen to our podcast together.
Yeah.
New fan, Maria Taylor. What's up,
I
Maria?
think that we
I've loved your
can-
music for 15 years.
What's up, Maria Taylor? You're a sexy ghost.
You can come be on the show sometime. Just float in spectrally, you know. We'll just listen. Let's play this episode back. I'll give it to some of my like ghost hunter friends, and they'll like scan this episode for like EVP messages from Maria Taylor. Yeah.
Okay, so I also feel like Connor Oberst has enough like people that have floated in and out of
His orbit?
performing and stuff like that I feel like we can get word to them pretty easily that there's a podcast about Bright Eyes.
Get somebody who listens to this show knows somebody like Matt McGinn.
Like, I think we can get Andy
Jihad Lee.
Lamaster on the phone.
Andy Lamaster's too busy with like REM shit, man.
Does he actually do that?
Yeah.
Also, REM doesn't exist anymore, so he's not doing REM.
Like all the like dudes like
by the way, fuck REM.
dudes dudes like Andy Lamaster and Mike Mogus are like probably the hardest fucking working dudes in show business. They're working all the time, and it's like every time I'm like listening to people all the time, and it's like I'll like look up somebody, I'm like, who's this guy? And it's like, oh, the first album produced by Mike Mogus. And I'm like, that dude's always working.
Yeah.
Mike Mogus. Why don't we like we do? But when people talk about like Brian Eno and who's the fucking beard guy? Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin, yeah.
Rick Rubin and those people. How come Mike Mogus doesn't come up in the same breath, man? Dude's a wizard.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's one of those guys. He's more like a J.J. Cale, like who just floated under the radar his whole career purposefully.
But
you know?
from the stuff I've heard about Mike Mogus, like when he produced More Adventurous, that he took A Man Than Me Than Jim and like put all that percussion in there. Like
the
literally,
percussion's amazing
Yeah,
in that
like-
song. And A Man Me Than Jim is like the most heart-wrenching.
oh, it's a great song.
It's on my list of favorite songs of all time.
Yeah.
I had one friend in high school recently hung himself with string. His note said if living is the problem, well, that's just baffling.
So good.
And so, like, it's like Rilo Kiley came in, recorded the track, went home for the night, came back in. Mike Mogus was like, hey, I added all this crazy shit.
You know what is definitely a Mike Mogus thing that is the best part of that song?
The person on the phone?
Oh my fucking God, it's the person on the phone.
I knew it!
Okay? So
Yes, you can barely hear it.
a woman calls my house once a week. She's always selling things.
Yeah.
And then she lists off the things that she's selling.
Something,
And
a subscription to a
Jenny
magazine.
Lewis says in the song, "Hey, what troubles you?"
Yeah,
You know,
one
she's
day
like,
I heard something trembling in her voice.
Yeah.
I said, hey,
"Hey,
what troubles you?
She said, "I'm surprised you notice." When she says, "I'm surprised you notice," you hear underneath, laying under the song, Jenny Lewis say through a phone line, "I'm surprised you notice," and it is the perfect.
And it's great, like, voice acting, too. Like, it sounds
like
vaguely
she did it.
distressed.
Yeah.
And it's, like, great acting. I don't know. Is it Jenny Lewis doing that?
I kind of just assumed it's Jenny Lewis. It sounds like her voice.
Maybe it is,
So I
yeah.
think it probably is.
I said, hey, what troubles you? She said, I'm surprised you noticed.
I think they probably were in the studio, and Mike Mogis was like, "Hey, you know what you should do?
Yeah.
You know,
call my voicemail.
Yeah.
Say this.
Like, that is just. We need to come up with some sort of phrase or segment or something that we can pinpoint. Like, there is like one specific moment in a song where you hear that and it's like, it makes
The
everything,
Mogus.
you know, the Mogus moment.
Yeah, you know what the Mogus to this song is? Yeah.
The Mogist.
No, Mogus moment I like.
You like Mogus moment?
Yeah, that's
it's
the
hard
Mogus
to say. Mogus moment.
Yeah, Mogus moment.
Oh
Mogus
my God.
moment.
See, that's it. That's
All right.
the thing.
Yeah. Okay, so Arionette, good song.
Sounds like cold winds blowing through that song.
And I like the way that it suddenly surges up. Yeah. It's cool. And that's an effect that Conor Oberst will bring back a lot.
Also, the surge, I think, is
the surge
greatly helped by the drum beat. The drum beat in that. Mm-hmm. Because there's like no drums throughout the whole song except for that, like that build part, but also like when he goes, "Stay with me, Ariana, until the wolves go away." That's like the only drums through most of the song until it kind of builds up into that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what I'm thinking of? Wow. I feel like embarrassed. I'm thinking of the build part in Sunrise Sunset right now.
There's a very common musical
something
element
like-
between
that's
those
why
two
I'm making
songs.
the mistake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those two songs have
I don't think it's just time signature,
Yeah.
you know? Okay, this song, Arionette ends, and you hear him move throughout the room,
yeah.
sit down at the piano, and then immediately, that's all at the end of Arionette.
Yeah.
And then when the curious girl realizes she's under glass, it kicks off right on him on the piano.
So this is the first like Mike in a room kind of song
Yeah.
that Conor Oberst does.
Yes.
So like we'll see more of it later with like Waste of Paint and a couple other ones and very famously You Will. I already talked about it on the podcast one time. We'll talk about it again. Like a microphone across the room, Conor Oberst at a piano, Mike Mogis on Atmosphere, which is literally he turns a TV on at one point in the song.
The TV, though.
It makes it.
It makes it.
It's a great. I would say that just this is probably the most influential to me
Yes.
song on this
Yeah,
whole album.
Me too.
Everything about this song, the style, the delivery. When he like goes up and starts screaming, that wasn't just me. I mean, you remember when we were like doing sort of like cafe shows with Josh, like, and going to those kind of performances, there was always at least one dude for 10 years who did that thing, you know, who would sing and then would go into the Conor Oberst controlled yelp scream thing.
No matter how I may wish for a coffin so clean, or these trees to undress all their leaves onto me. I put my face in the dirt and then finally I see the sky that has been avoiding me.
Everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
And it was funny because when we had a band, people would tell me all the time in a sort of derogatory way that I was singing like Conor Oberst, which I think, more consciously imitating Isaac Brock from Modest Mouse.
Yeah.
So I was always kind of like, I don't think they really know what Conor Oberst sounds like because I'm not doing that.
I think that was mostly people who know you being like, he's into Bright Eyes, so he sounds like Bright Eyes.
Yeah, but I definitely thought I was kind of being a little wackier than that. So
You
I was,
definitely were.
yeah, I was kind of trying to do like a kind of cartoony.
Although we took ourselves very seriously at that time.
That's true.
So-
We did, but I knew enough. Even as self-serious as I had absorbed vaguely that Conor Oberst knew at least to take the air out of himself a little bit. And I liked those bands like Modest Mouse that were kind of more silly unabashedly. And so I was like, I knew that I wasn't a very good singer, so I knew to cut the, I knew to be a little jokey with it.
All the things you think you need feels like such a waste. You act like you know, but you don't. So wait for some other time. You tell me this is you, but
I don't want to go down. I was going to talk about people's live performances and stuff. I was going to say George Barber. I saw the first time I saw George Barber perform live, he did like a raise up, start screaming part in a song that he has called the Granite State. That it was like the whole room stopped moving, and this dude fucking captivated a room. You know what I mean?
If you can do it, do it.
Yeah.
But I just think when I heard the first Titus Andronicus album, I was like, that guy's doing Conor Oberst.
Right.
I was like, I wasn't doing it, but he was.
Andronicus sounds like the Disparasitos.
Well, but the funny thing is that around the time of Local Business, Patrick Stickles switched gears and started to sound like Joe Strummer instead of like Conor Oberst. And he found something totally different with his voice, and that's what he sounded like ever since.
That's true.
Yeah, but previous to that, the Monitor and Airing of Grievances, Conor Oberst, big influence on that album. I didn't think we'd find a way to talk about Titus Andronicus on a Bright Eyes podcast, but we found our way in.
Twice tonight, by the way.
Yeah. Now we got to find our way to, I was listening to The Greatest by Cat Power, and I was like, there's a way to relate this to Conor Oberst somehow, but it's in a different it's a different constellation, but I'm going to find the star path.
By the way.
It goes through Spoon. It goes through Spoon. The path from Cat Power to Conor Oberst.
If you're going to listen to one Cat Power album, it's The Greatest.
Yeah.
It's The Greatest.
You know what I think it is? I think there's I don't know when The Greatest came out, but I feel like for a couple years there was it's like the best album of the year, and it's like Lifted was one of them, Gimme Fiction by Spoon was one of them, The Greatest was one of them.
Gimme Fiction by Spoon is...
Do you know who is cited very heavily as an influence on that album by Britt Daniel?
Conor Oberst?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I will say that the Bright Eyes the Britt Daniel Bright Eyes combo is some great shit.
We'll talk about that one.
Yeah, we will. This is one of the ones I really wanted to talk about. Halai, 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 halai.
Yes.
Slips from a loose grip. Words were missed, then some apology.
Okay, I have a very strong memory of talking about this song with Ryan Lewis. We were talking about how cool this song is, and when it gets it just goes on for a bit in this kind of twangy, bouncy sort of way, but not too energetic.
The storm clouds are mounting. Eli's coming.
Yeah, but then it jumps into this kind of jangly, that when I talk in the mirror to the stranger that appears.
Yep.
That part, it's so cool. And you're like, whoa, I didn't expect this song to break into this kind of country stomp.
But I talk in the mirror to the stranger that appears. Our conversations are circles, always one-sided. Nothing is clear.
Because it's so serious and heartbreaking.
Yes.
Even though you're kind of doing even though the idea of halai, halai, being your chorus is a little you can't take yourself too seriously with that.
Yeah, it's another intense breakup song about basically whatever, the person that left you lied about the fact that they were going to stay.
This. He's just some guy she's been hanging out with.
Yeah.
That whole bit though, fucking magic.
There's a telephone tone too that leads into this song.
Yep.
And then at one point he says thank you and hang up the phone.
Yeah.
And I think that's when the sound stops.
And that's when his voice goes from being the phone.
Oh yeah.
From a loose
so it
grip.
sounds like he's on the phone and then he hangs up the phone and then his voice is normal.
And hang up the phone. Yeah.
That's so cool.
He's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
That is the perfect example of what we're talking about with his vocal stuff in this album.
Yeah.
Always
having fun with the production style,
and it means something when he does it.
Yeah.
It's not there for no reason.
Right.
It thematically and
He makes use of
everything
non-musical
works.
things as instruments, basically. So production is an instrument.
You know what I really like about in When the Curious Girl Realizes She's Under Glass? That part where the TV goes like happy.
Yeah.
But it is in the tone of the song. It's
Yeah.
in the same key.
Yeah.
So it fits into the song and it sounds like he almost put it there, but then you realize that it's like part of
I
all
wonder
the
if it was
sampled-
I wonder if it was all actually one take and that was just good luck. You know, because I also like that there's a news anchor that says right before it starts singing again, she's like, this sounds like Blues 101.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I think that they probably recorded a shitload of it, but I love that that one little piece there.
Yeah. Well, like when I started using a lot of recordings from TV at the time in my videos and stuff that I was working on when I heard this music.
Yeah.
And I would so frequently be so shocked by how something would fit exactly what I wanted it to fit. You know, like I remember, we'll talk more about this with Read Music, Speak Spanish, but editing footage of Saddam Hussein's capture with Desaparecidos, I made like a music video.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it was like right as a guitar part happens is like when they put the tongue depressor on his tongue kind of thing. You know, it was like, it's so perfect and I didn't even do it myself.
Right.
Like it just happened that way.
Just lines up like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Halai, I feel like there should be more that we should say, but I just feel like it's a perfect song. It is what it is.
I do
you know?
think those lyrics, I talk in the mirror to the stranger that appears, our conversations are always
Our
one-sided.
circle's always one-sided.
Is
yeah.
funny. Like
Yeah.
that's a funny
'Cause
joke.
He's talking to himself.
So
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, it's like it's like the joke in the Lord of the Rings when Gollum is talking to himself in the water. You know, like all the little jokes about his reflection.
Right.
It's good stuff. Funny stuff.
Center of the world.
Okay, so center of the world.
At the center of the world.
We were both kind of confused by Tom, who said this was his second favorite song on the album. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good song,
Yes.
but it's so far deep back in the album and there's not like a hugely distinguishing feature to it that it totally flabbergasted me. I'm not saying it's a wrong choice.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
Because it picks up slow. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of boring
Yeah.
at the beginning. But then it comes into this fucking explosion.
Yeah.
It's just weird that it was his number 2, and he was so adamant about it.
Yeah.
He was like, that's the one song that I wouldn't change the position of.
Right.
Which I think just comes down to like your personal, how this topic affects you, which, here's my question, does his significant other have an overdose at the end of that song?
It sounds like actual death happens
Yeah.
or something really bad happens at the end of that song.
It's either they kill themselves or it's an overdose of some kind.
Yeah.
Because I think it's an overdose because it's the alarm clock's going off and you're not waking up.
Yeah.
This isn't happening.
It
It is.
Yeah. So it's a very dark ending.
And I don't see it as like a story of like your significant other goes to sleep and then doesn't wake up.
Right.
There has to be some reason for why that happens.
Right.
Either it being self-inflicted or, I mean, it could be a self-inflicted overdose as well.
Yeah.
I just mean like, it seems like an OD kind of story.
Yeah, so in terms of like whatever narrative arc of this album that there is, this is like the black hole, you know, end of the second act, bad shit happens kind of song.
Right.
And it really sounds like it has that big heavy bass breakdown part.
Dun. Yeah, the bass is...
Shout out to Matt McGinn again.
Dude, the bass on this album is great.
Yeah. It's got that cursive bass.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, I also really like the line about from that, you drive back to your place from the job that makes you sleep back to the thoughts that keep you awake.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a good one.
Dude.
Wrote that down earlier. I was like, good one.
The guy knows how to write a song.
Yeah, one theme we're going to keep coming back to on this podcast, like a fever or a mirror, is that Conor Oberst, good at writing lyrics.
Yeah.
Even when he was fucking 19 years old.
Yeah. He is. He's
Let's not talk about the
he's one of
pretentious
those
shit that I
people-
wrote when I was
see,
19 years old.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know,
God.
Right? Jesus. Also, by the way,
I also
you
wrote
know
some
what-
really great,
you know
really
what drives me
profane
fucking-
sketches, but
you know what drives me fucking insane about this guy in my own self as an artist versus him? It's like, okay, so you're amazing at writing lyrics. It also happens that you are like the best arranger of, like,
Yeah.
he has an orchestra through this fucking album.
Yeah.
This guy can handle
And he only gets
layers
bigger
of
from here.
music, layers and layers and layers and layers, and he just does it perfectly. And everything is written so he's stay in one lane, motherfucker.
Yeah.
The alarm clock's going off, but you're not waking up. This isn't happening, 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 happening. It is.
But it's just the scale of everything. Scale is like vast because like that. The thought I just had a second ago is I was like, best thing I wrote when I was 19 was the Wicked Good Food Review and stuff, and the best thing he wrote when he was 19 was fucking Sunrise Sunset or like something vague.
Yeah.
You know, it's huge. It's not fair.
The best thing that I wrote when I was 19 was Black Kettle.
Oh yeah, that's a great song. That's true. That's actually a really good song.
I don't know. I feel a little. See, it has the same thing with Halai, where you made your chorus la da, I knew you once. Like when you put it out of context like that, when I tell you that, you laugh and you're like, it's a little silly. You know what I mean? I
But
think
there's
it
some
works
great
within the
la
song.
la 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 songs. You know,
That's true.
there's a proud tradition of la 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 songs. Let's see if I had anything else on those. I don't think I did. Center of the World.
Yeah, Center of the World. I mean, it's very heavy. It's a weird number 2.
Heavy.
It's a weird number
yeah.
2 on your list.
Heavy and grim.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one tone, whereas a lot of the other songs on this album have at least 1 or 2 modes. So even if you don't like one part, it's about to shift into a different part. Mm-hmm. But this is just like, it's a steady march to death, you know?
Sunrise Sunset is the 10th track.
Okay.
Sunrise Sunset.
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly go the days.
This song has a lot of great personal significance to me. When Christy and I were first dating, she kind of put me on this assignment to make a video for Sunrise Sunset. And I think I made multiple versions of it even because I was just obsessed with getting it right. And this is before I could even edit digitally, so I was doing crazy VCR shit to do this. But I was doing the stupidest things, like I remember, because it was all about like life and death, you know? The song is Sunrise Sunset. I remember taking a rose and filming the rose, then putting the rose in the microwave so it would like be dead, and then filming the microwaved rose back in the same spot. So like, you know, the rose just like dies, you know, suddenly in the shot. I don't really remember many other shots from that. I know that the first shot was a shot of me through the viewfinder of a second camera as the battery on the second camera was dying. So it's like you can kind of see me in this little green square and the battery light is beeping and then it just like turns off and then the song starts, which was one of my earliest, best openings. It's on a VHS tape somewhere, this video. Yeah. So we have it. I haven't seen it in 15 years, but I will always think of it when I think of that song. And then when we saw Conor Oberst in Concord, the one with Feist, he opened with that song with the harp, you know, full harp on stage, Sunrise, Sunset. Cool. And when this song kicks in, it kicks in as hard as Conor Oberst goes.
And the moment you will laugh, but there's someone there who will be laughing louder than you. So it's true, the trick is complete. Become everything you said you never would be. You're a fool. You're a fool.
Sunrise Sunset is an amazing thing for a lot of reasons. He took this Fiddler on the Roof song and created a song around the chorus, which is only something done in rap music.
Yeah, you're right. It's true. It's like Hard Knock Life.
Yeah.
For a sunrise or a sunset, you're manic or you're depressed. Will you ever feel okay?
But the line that I said earlier that I really liked was out of Sunrise Sunset was you carry your sadness like a puppet.
Yeah.
Keep putting on the play or something like that. And something tonight listening to it, I was like, that's a fucking great line.
It's this is something that so after a little while, Conor Oberst and Tim Kasher vowed to each other no more songs about writing songs. But this album and the next album are long before they made that promise.
I was gonna say, I think that Tim Kasher beats it into the ground when he writes a whole album about writing an album. Right.
Yes. So that's why they eventually promised each other no more songs about writing songs. I don't know if they've lifted that ban yet. So when this song starts like slamming, I mean like literally slamming sounds, like it gets so intense. It's so cool. And it's the kind of thing where a lot of the stuff that is common to the Saddle Creek crew is stuff that you're like, no way you could pull that song off like live. No way you could make that actually happen. And when they actually do, it's mind-blowing. So
that's always satisfying. That's a really satisfying feeling where you're like, no way that happens live the way that you think it would, and it does.
One time when we saw Cursive, they played Dorothy at 40, and afterwards they said, oh my God, that's the first time we ever got that song right. Which that song's hard. Like, that's very difficult.
Yeah, I can't imagine ever trying to even perform that.
Yeah.
Dorothy at 40, though, holy shit of a song.
That's a great song.
Okay, an attempt to tip the scales.
Okay.
Did you expect it all to stop at the wave of your hand? Like the sun's just gonna drop. If it's not, you demand. Well,
another story. An attempt to tip the scales is another song that's special to me.
I think of you when I hear this song.
Yeah. So it was a song that I performed with Christy in a band that we hastily formed after. So that the history of my bands is Vertically Inclined, the Christian rock band where I played the drums, Mercutio, the punk band where I played the drums that was born from the ashes of Vertically Inclined.
Yep.
Then this kind of feeling it out experimental long stage before Subjection Casual. And so where a lot of different things happened. We did the voice crack thing, me and Brian Shea doing like acoustic hip hop covers. Different things happened. So Daybreak was the Bright Eyes ripoff band. It was guitar, piano, electric guitar, timpani, and I think that's it. Claves. Yes. Christy sang and played claves. And for our single performance, it was at a school variety show. We played an attempt to tip the scales. And it didn't go great. Like, it was fine. But I remember the kid who was playing timpani, I just could not get into his head the mode that we really wanted, because I just think that nobody that we knew at the time knew what kind of rock music or indie rock music. They didn't know what it was. So if your only reference for music is what you're hearing on the radio in 2000, 2001, no, this was later, I guess, 2003 even still, there's just certain stuff you don't have the capacity to perform. So I did at the time, but I don't blame our timpani player for botching that performance. He didn't make the cut into Subjection Casual. He was a good guy. And
I remember it being really good.
Huh. I remember being very hard on myself about it, but maybe I should forgive myself.
I was very jealous that I was not involved. I was very young at the time.
Well, yeah, and I don't really understand why you weren't anyway. I guess because I just thought that you were already doing your own thing.
There were probably some rules. No, there were no. I was going to say there were probably some rules about the fact that I was probably still in middle school.
Yeah, you weren't in high school. That's true.
But I remember being very jealous and feeling left out.
Well, I'm sorry. I wish that you'd been in Daybreak.
Well, technically I was, because we did call Subjection Casual Daybreak for
a while.
Like a month or so. Like, the thing when I think back about Subjection Casual is, like, obviously we have the recordings. So we know that we weren't, like, fucking, I don't know what band to compare us to. Like, what music were we really playing? Like pop?
Somewhere between Modest Mouse and Bright Eyes.
Yeah, so like we know that we weren't there.
Right.
But like I remember us being like, good.
I especially remember we had a couple performances where we were really locked in, live performances.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of great practices where we were just nailing it. And it's just fun.
We used to go down to the Portsmouth radio station and play all night. Because our buddy Scott Vogelin had a show from like 12 to 4 in the morning or something.
That's true.
We would go and play, but nobody was coming in at 4 in the morning, so we would go from like 12 to 6 in the morning. I remember Christy driving us home with the windows down. It was fucking freezing, but we had to drive with the windows down so she would stay awake for us to get home.
That's
we
true.
were so tired.
Yeah. That's funny. That's a funny memory.
I also remember waking up. One time Ryan and I did it by ourselves.
Yeah.
We went down and just played songs. He played like piano and I played an acoustic guitar. And we went home. We both fell asleep in bed together. Woke up. I feel like he would really not like me saying that. Isn't that weird? I feel like Ryan would be like, "Don't tell people that." I'd be like, "It's fine."
He'd be fine.
We fell asleep together. We woke up at like 11 and we were like, let's go get breakfast. We went to Katie's kitchen. We ate a complete full breakfast. When we were done, she brought the bill and we were like, we need menus again. and we ate a whole other round of breakfast. So let's talk about the end of Attempt to Tip the Scales.
Yeah. It's
Which
a beautiful short song, and then it just trails off into this like tone for a while.
It's a long tone.
Yeah, when you look at the song on Spotify and you see that it's like 11 minutes long, you might get excited.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah. Well, so
It's a beautiful song. I wish it was 11 minutes
it
long.
goes into an interview with Conor Oberst.
With Conor Oberst in quotation marks.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that wasn't him.
Yeah, it's Todd Backley.
Yeah.
Or now Todd
That
Fink.
was like fucking mind-blowing to me today.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Connor?
Fine. Thanks. Just a little wet.
Oh, it's still coming down out there.
Yeah, I sort of had to run from the car.
Okay, here's why. Because, I heard the song many times when I was younger.
Yes.
It got kind of the point where if that song comes on, you kind of skip over it.
Oh, yeah. I
Because it's like,
definitely...
who wants to fucking listen to that?
I've probably only listened to that interview 3 times in my whole life.
Yeah. Me too.
And it's because it starts out sounding like a real radio interview.
Right.
But like they bleep out the name of the radio station.
Sorry, listeners.
They bleep out the name of the radio station, and then after a little while, like the tone that's playing underneath, Conor Oberst says, "Can you stop playing that sound?" And he stops playing the sound, and you're like, "What's going on?" And then, like,
They've already gotten. By the way, by the time he says, "Can you stop playing that sound?" They've already gone pretty deep into their conversation,
and it's already gotten a little weird with some of their
it's already
responses.
gotten a little hostile.
Yeah.
By Conor Oberst.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, how the fuck is Todd Backley or Todd Fink?
He used to be.
Know that?
Yeah. He used to be Todd Backley. He changed his name when he got married.
He took his wife's name.
Yeah.
Which,
Very
by
rock
the
and
way,
roll.
guys. He took Arenda Fink from Azure Ray's last name.
Todd Backley Fink, by the way, is probably best known as the vocalist for The Faint.
Yes, amazing band.
Yeah, The Faint rules.
Those arms are calling out. They live like a swarm of sound. You pull the sound from scores of notes. You step the stage and take control.
Leave time for the faint.
Yep.
And then so this guy is playing Conor Oberst. He sounds just fucking like him.
Now that when you know that it's not
When
Conor
you know
Oberst,
it's not him. It's yes.
you can hear the impression break every couple words.
Yes.
But it is a startlingly good Conor Oberst impression.
And it's also I didn't know that it wasn't him.
Yeah.
I read that today and I was like, I said it to Sarah and it was like I dropped a fucking bomb on her.
Yeah.
Okay. We both were like, our whole fucking world has changed because of this. You know?
Also, what's funny is that you eventually can hear Conor Oberst in the background.
Yes, we
he's
noticed
like
that too.
swearing and yelling, and it
Yeah.
sounds like they're like trashing the radio station. They're like,
Yeah.
there's just like sounds of just destruction start happening in the background. And like
What's
it kind of
interesting
travels
about it-
between ears too. So you hear Conor Oberst over
Yes.
here who's like fucking.
Yeah, different- yeah.
Then you hear him over here and he's like goddamn fucking shit.
Yeah. When you hear them in different speakers, it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's very interesting in that interview that he lays it all out for you. Now we've heard, he said, I read that he put that interview in to like kind of lighten the load of the album.
Yeah, to
Or
kind of,
whatever.
I think to
Kind of
sort
poke
of
fun at himself.
to try unsuccessfully to preempt people from casting him as like Mr. Emo drama guy.
Yeah, or playing into it a little bit.
Yeah.
You
I guess
know?
a little bit of
because
both.
he does kind of play into it a little bit. Too.
And I also guess with the benefit of hindsight, that kind of thing, you can read it more as someone taking the air out of their myth, not playing into their myth, but context was so different in the year 2000. People were so dumb.
I mean, 9/11 hadn't happened yet.
In a lot of
so
ways,
America wasn't born yet.
in a lot of ways, people are dumber and less media literate now than they were, but it's still like, I don't know. It's different. I guess that's what it is. It's different.
So it's very weird that he but no matter what he's trying to do, he talks about everything that he talks about in the album. Like he like explains what things mean and stuff. Whether or not he's actually saying what he thinks they really mean or not is one thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, who's to say?
I mean, this whole thing could be just like a prank that his friends recorded to make fun of him, and he decided to keep it on the album, you know?
Yeah.
Like, in
true.
a way,
It's
when
true.
they're like, scales, like, about all our little measurements, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, but it very much
I could definitely see
captures-
my friends doing something like that about me.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see your friends doing that about you as well.
Yes. Yeah. Jory had some satirical Sunday shoutouts thing he was going to do for the longest time. But I think after, like, we did the one after Sandy Hook or something, he was like, I don't think it would be nice to make fun of this anymore.
You know what I want to do is I want to do I want the next music episode that you do. I want to inject me reading off a list
Okay, we can do that.
of things, and we won't call any attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just slip in there and
Okay.
read off one of my lists.
All right.
Okay. Song to pass the time.
Yeah.
Another
So
lead-in, by the way, to the interview.
He
says, so you're going to play a song for us.
yes, they introduce the song, and then they kind of make a weird joke about the interview. At the end of the interview, Conor Oberst says to the interviewer, "You should write your own scripts," and he says,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I know." It's like a joke that goes in all directions.
Yeah.
But so a song to pass the time. Great, beautiful. It has probably the first Bright Eyes toy instrument that we ever hear. Like this toy piano that's kind of half
It's
in
so
there.
beautiful, and Sarah pointed it out earlier, but I think I felt the same way when he says the kids laugh in a language I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's just little lines in his songs that like you just hear a phrase and you're like, that's the perfect phrase.
A bunch of the verses of that song end in a question, which
Yeah.
that was because of the podcast episode that's coming out tomorrow. It was really resonating with me today. He says, they laugh in a language I don't understand, but I love them. Why do I love them?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's cool. It's a very, this is when Conor Oberst shows his capability of not just being a person who's obsessed with his relationships and angry about things, but also someone who is very observant about the world around him and other people and very empathetic.
All I have for the moment is a song to pass the time, a melody to keep me from worrying.
And it's not something you hear too much of on these albums. It comes up a lot later on in his later albums, but it's he's starting to demonstrate but I'm also paying attention to what else is going on. And it's kind of this weird breather after the bedrooms and spiders. It's now I'm going to sit on the front porch and look at people and talk about stuff.
That song's so pretty. It's just his voice sounds perfect. The instrumentation, as minimal as it is perfect.
I say, hold up our fist to the flame in the sky, to block out the light that's reaching for our eyes, 'cause it would blind us.
hold up a fist to a flame in
to
the
a
sky.
Flame in the sky.
One
Oh,
of my
man.
favorite. Yeah.
Like and the melody is really important there.
Yeah. You're
on
right.
Why it's good.
Yeah. That's a beautiful, awesome chorus.
Yeah.
Both, though, I forget what the second chorus is, but yeah. Oh, the second chorus is
it's
"Come for
just-
the week, you can sleep in my bed and
Yeah.
pass through my life like a dream through my head."
It's so goddamn.
Yeah, great stuff.
Amen.
Yeah, and it also, by the way, so the last words of the album are my mediocrity," which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
And the song cuts out,
Yeah.
like it just stops dead.
Yeah.
Which is a cool. I like that. That's another like, it's like a sudden cut to black at the end of a TV show or something where you're expecting a slight breath and you don't get one. It's just over.